daughter, and daughter is talking about her new boyfriend, and father is of course worried, as all the fathers are usually, about the prospects of the young couple, and he is asking about the profession of the young man. And when she states that tells him that he is a musician and it's all happening in Germany, that's a good thing, because every German city is interested in having a very high level symphony orchestra, or maybe even chamber orchestra. And it would be the last thing to put it away from the budget. And whereas in France, the same when we would have the same conversation going on, the father would be more likely worried a little bit, because there's not such pressure of having many symphony orchestras in France as it is in Germany. And if the young boy would be a man of letters, a writer, the conversation would have the exact opposite result. In France, it would be a good thing, many prospects for the écrivain, for the writer, and not so many for musician. Exactly opposite exactly the other way around than in Germany. So for instance, in Italy you have like 30 symphonic orchestras. Very high level orchestras are maybe 7 or 8 of them. In Germany you have like 300, like 10 times more symphony orchestras, and half of it is very high level. So it's a clear example of how much music is really very important in German culture. Something was said about the German language. It was a very big discussion about if German language is good or bad, if it's nice or not. The same conversation was about the German sense of humor. About the German sense of humor, I would say that the German sense of humor is very close to British one. Maybe the irony is not so much stressed and highlighted, but the black humor is more or less of the same quantity and quality, I would say. I can recommend from German comedians Anke Engelke, Bastian Pastewka, Kaja Janar and Rüdiger Hoffmann. They are all to be found on YouTube. Especially Anke Engelke, she is very talented, and I really can recommend it also to the people who don't know German. Not only the Deutschsprachige Leute, but also for every interested person. Many are with English subtitles, so you can clearly see that it's a very similar way of humor as far as dark humor is concerned, the affairs of death and so on, and so for instance you can also mention the film Wichser, in which there was a humor, English type humor, directed at the British themselves, because they were thinking about there was a scene with the English castle that was so traditionally organized and so old that it was all in black and white. When you came there, all the scenes were filmed in black and white, and the name of the castle was of course Blackweight Castle. So that was an example of German humor of very high quality, I'd say. This with the German language, this is a very funny thing, because German language is usually portrayed and seen as very harsh and very hard and not soft, whereas French just the other way around. But in fact, the French language has much more hard sounds than German language, which is pretty soft, weich, as the German say. And for instance, the Clignancourt, avant, arrière-garde, these are very hard sounds, whereas, for instance, zwischen, 20 und so weiter, these sounds typical for German are usually soft. On average, German is certainly softer than French, but but maybe it's the hardness of the languages, because we are portraying the German as the military nation. But in the early 19th century still, it was seen that the French were seen as the military nation. All the words concerning military